Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. I actually just got back from a little vacation in Canada, I guess about a week ago now. My last day in Canada, I managed to come down with a chest cold, so I wasn't able to record. This is actually going to be my first recording in about 4 weeks, which is really long for me. So my voice is a little weird if you can't tell. We are looking at budget Leonin today, and this is the tokens, so ones that use tokens or kind of have synergies with tokens is what we're looking at. What are we covering? Again, this is what I'm calling the exemplars. I'm going to shoot through this because I say this every single time. We're looking at kind of like the creature types with the highest affinity with a particular color. So we've got my little chart here where I showed all of them. I've done everything except for Green Elf is coming up next. And yeah, we're actually coming to near the end of the Leonin here. So it's getting done. So what about Leonin? Their main color is white, and they are a weird one because they don't actually have their own creature type. They are all listed as cat. I think that was kind of an oversight on the, or not planning ahead maybe, on Wizards' part. I guess that wasn't Wizards back then. On whatever, anyway, yeah, I can't remember the company name now. I almost said TSR, but no, it was Wizards, right? It's been Wizards the whole time. I'm getting confused with Dungeons & Dragons, but anyway. This is the 7th video in the Leonin series, and this deals with Leonin or cats that make use of tokens, as I said. When I say budget, I mean $2 or less on the TCG market value. Not a sponsor, nope. Not at all. Honorable mentions. Okay, so we have Warehouse Tabby, 1 black for a 1/1. Again, black, very not Leonin, right? Whenever an enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, create a 1/1 black creature token with this creature can't block. And for 1 black, you can give it Death Touch. Sure. Kind of nice to have, but the main thing you want is the enchantment. Every time an enchantment goes to the graveyard, you're making a 1/1 black rat. That gets crazy with, like, especially if you've got some kind of aura deck. This is a great card to have because whenever that aura, whenever that creature gets destroyed, there's just going to be a pile of auras that are enchantments going into your graveyard. So you're just going to make a whole stack of rats. Yeah, whenever an enchantment, not one or more. So it is per enchantment, you're going to make a rat. So get some value out of it at least. Second is, I love this card. If this had a lower mana cost, this would be like an absolutely insane, even if it was like 3 in a white instead of 5 in a white, this would be like a $20 card, I think. So when it dies, again, it is a creature for 5 in a white, a 4/6, and when it dies, create a 1/1 white cat creature token with lifelink, a 1/1 bird with flying, a 2/4 ox as well. Okay, so you've got 3 creatures you're making from 1 death trigger. Already pretty good, but it gets better. For each of these tokens, you may put an aura card from your hand or a graveyard onto the battlefield attached to it. So this gets to auto cast things from your hand or recur things from your graveyard for free. So you can pull 3 auras out of your graveyard or play them straight for your hand or mix and match however you want. For 6 mana, that's not hard to get the value out of. It really is not. I wish I would have seen this sooner. I would have included this in a deck or two. And finally, Mage's Attendant for 2 and a white, 3/2. And when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 blue wizard creature token with pay 1 to sacrifice this creature, counter target non-creature spell unless controller pays 1. That's underwhelming. I think a lot of times people look at the tax and kind of counter tax effect and they think, but they'll just pay the 1, right? Well, what I always look for with this is like, you want to use it on counter spells. A lot of times they're not going to have extra mana on top of their counter spell mana. So if they say casting counter spell, they tap the 2 blue, cast it, they're probably going to not have an extra mana laying around to be able to counter your little sacrifice effect here. Also, if you flicker this becomes pretty crazy. Okay, so first up is Wasitora Nekoru Queen for 2, and then a black, red, green. He is a 5/4 with or she, I think. She is a 5/4 with flying and trample. I do love flying and trample as a combination. I think that is a really good one. Flyers usually don't have very high toughness, so trample does a lot of work with them. But anyway. So whenever it deals combat damage to a player, that player sacrifices a creature. If the player can't, you create a 3/3 black, green, and red cat dragon creature with flying. So it's going to make tokens as long as they can't, if you're not forcing them to sacrifice something. It's kind of like removal or token. Amazing, but anyway, yeah. Removal / token generator is, that's a nice combination. And yeah, the flying 3/3 flyers are nothing to sneeze at. So 44 cents. Progenitor Exarch. Okay, so this is XX white for a 1/2, and when it enters the battlefield, incubate 3 times, 3x times. So you make incubator tokens with 3 +1/+1s on them equal to the number of X's you paid. So again, with 2x, that means for every 2 mana extra you put in, you're going to make one of these incubator tokens. That stacks up real fast, right? And yeah, you can just tap them to transform an incubator token you control. So you're going to basically make a whole bunch of these incubator tokens. Usually getting them transformed is the tricky bit, and this guy's great at it. You just flip them over by tapping them. So yeah. Ideal in a Phyrexian incubator deck, obviously. I think it can be used pretty much anytime you want tokens. This guy will be useful anyway. 17 cents. Black Market Tycoon. Okay, so this is a Gruul, which is kind of a weird one for he actually does look like a Leonin, but yeah. So for a red and a green, a 2/2. At the beginning of your upkeep, Black Market Tycoon deals 2 damage to you for each treasure you control. There's the downside right there, right? 2 damage per treasure. You basically, if you're making treasure, you want to use them all every turn. If you're going to use this guy, you can tap him to create a treasure token. So there's your upside right there. You can very easily create treasure tokens, but yeah, an extra mana every turn of any color is pretty good. Also, you can get a lot of synergy out of that treasure token, but you want to just keep using them every single turn. A lot of times with treasure tokens, you want to like make this big stack of them and sacrifice them all at once to get some kind of huge effect, and that's not what this guy does, right? You want a lot of card draw with him probably, and yeah, be able to just keep pumping out spells. So he's more of almost like a Gruul spell slinger synergy than he is like this kind of like big, maybe red X spell, which I'd usually look for with treasure tokens. Anyway, 13 cents. Okay, and Jedit Ojanin of Efrava, yeah, okay. So 3 and 3 green. Bit steep there, honestly. 6 mana for a 5/5, but Forest Walk. Okay, Forest Walk, again, that's evasion, right? Anyone who has a forest can't block you, or can't block him, I should say. So yeah. Whenever he attacks or blocks, put a 2/2 green cat warrior token with Forest Walk into play. So he's going to make tokens that also have that evasion. Which, again, if you've got some kind of cat typal deck, it is going to just do a lot of work. Oh my. Okay, and ideally you want to give him something that gives him vigilance. If he has vigilance, then he can attack and block keep just doing that every turn. That's a major disincentive for people to attack you, because like the 5/5 can probably drop their attacker and you're going to get some added benefit out of it. Anyway, 119. Finally, Fabine, boss's confidant, sorry. And so creature tokens you control have haste. That is so big. I'm skipping stuff because I'm too excited. 3, red, green, white. Do you know what that means? Naya. I won't say it. But anyway, so at the beginning of combat on your turn, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each land card revealed this way, create a 1/1 green and white citizen token. Sure. Then creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn for each non-land card revealed this way. In the game of Commander, this is probably going to be a fair amount of bonuses, right? This could be up to +3 on your combat. And really, it does give those players the card draw, so they draw the card they revealed. A little bit of downside there, but you can, especially if you're making a lot of tokens, getting that kind of boost to them. Combine this with like Mirror Entity or something, and you pretty much have your win con set. So yeah. Anywho, also, yeah, the tokens having haste is just huge. Pumping out a bunch of tokens is not a hard thing to do, but usually you have to sit around with nothing for them to do for the first, like, turn until basically they're not summoning sick anymore. This says, yeah, don't worry about that. Go ahead, just attack. So coming out of nowhere, making a whole bunch of these tokens and then just giving them all this big boost. I guess not a big boost, but you don't need a whole lot of boost if you're making a horde of tokens. Anyway, that haste just does so much work with tokens. Anyway, 19 cents only. The list, here we go. So Washitora Nakaru Queen, 44 cents. Progenitor Exarch is 17 cents. Black Market Tycoon is 13 cents. Jedit Ojanin of Efrava, $1.19. So hard to say. Come on, wizards. Fabine, boss's confidant. I said aunt instead of int. Notice that? Anyway, 19 cents. Okay, take it easy.